Hi, my name is Jonathan Hicks. I'm back at the Dice Cup, and today I'm joined by
Steve.
and Matt. And we've just finished playing XOBrainer. Well, actually, it's me and Steve who just finished playing, but Matt's played it plenty of time, so he's going to give his opinion as well. It's a two-player abstract game with an interesting board here, and you have a pile of these sort of pink and green tokens, and some of them are circles, and you can see some of them are supposed to be pluses or crosses.
X's,
Can't
I think
quite tell.
XO.
Oh yes, of course, XO. Now, on my turn, you set it up so it's always 3 green circles and a pink one, and then for Steve, it's 3 green X's and then a pink one. And on my turn, I have to play the first one, and I can stick it anywhere on the board. It should be what, sorry?
3 pink and a green.
Oh yeah, sorry, we got those the other way around. So I play my first pink one, and I could just stick it in the middle here. And then Steve would play one of his, and he puts it wherever he's like, and then I would play one of mine. And what we're trying to do here is you're trying to get 5 in a row. Now, you can get 5 in a row of any kind of thing. So I could get 5 circles in a row, or 5 crosses in a row, or 5 pink things in a row, or 5 green things in a row. This setup is always the same. I always have 3 pink and a green in circles, and Steve always has the 3 green and pink crosses. So that matters quite a lot in terms of the strategy. So we'll just sort of play a few here. So I can go here, trying to sort of get a line. Obviously, he's probably going to block me. All know because he's trying to get those there. Now this is a bit risky because if I put this here, although it kind of blocks the crosses, he then hits his go. We now fill up again. So I get the 3 pink ones and the green one, and although it's my go, I've got like pinks, so I can try and block the other end of this, but the problem is he's now got 5 green in a row and I've lost. So that's very bad play on my part. And essentially you're getting points. You can see there's kind of numbers on some of the tiles here. You're looking at the numbers underneath the 5 in a row that you managed to get. You can see all the low numbers are in the middle, so if you manage to get 5 in a row around the edge of the board, you're going to score far more points. So you play over kind of multiple rounds. You can see there's like a score tracker here for how far pink and green are doing. But essentially, it's the first to get 5 in a row, or as I say, most points if you're playing over a bunch of rounds. What do you think?
So I've played, I can't remember the name of the game, it's some sort of Japanese game, which is just 5 in a row. And you can play it with go pieces on a go board, and you play in the holes, and you're just trying to get 5 in a row. Effectively like Connect 4, but like on a top-down view, and you just place them wherever you can. And that is completely abstract. And this kind of gives that game some slightly different things to think about. You can see here that in generally 5 in a row, once you get 3 in a row, the other person has to block one end of it, otherwise you make 4 in a row, and once you've got that 4 in a row, you've won. Here, you have to maybe block it earlier than you think, because as you can see here, once I got 3 in a row, Jonathan was blocking it with the wrong colour piece. So every 4th turn you've got to be very careful about where you put that piece, because to some extent it can't block their colours, but it can potentially block their shapes. So if that was the case, Jonathan's fine to block this with a greeno because he's blocking shapes. But in this particular case, he's trying to block shapes and colours, and he just couldn't do it on the turn he did it. So you've got to be very careful. Obviously, once you've played 1 or 2 games of this, you get to the hang of, oh, okay, I've got to be a bit more careful once I get to my 4th piece. But this game does something slightly different. So based on where you score it, you get different number of points. I think you play first of 20, and you maybe play best of 3 sets or so. I haven't looked through it, but this game has some online support. So it's got a website where you can kind of get suggested setups and stuff. It's got these little cards where each person takes a card. So I will take this card, and if I'm circles, I'll put 3 pink circles there and a green circle there. My opponent will put 3 pink X's there and a green X there, and that would be the suggested setup. So it isn't just the board's empty every time and you play. Sometimes there are suggested setups based on picking random cards at the top. So if you like your 5 in a row games, which I know only pure abstract geeks like myself will, this does some things slightly differently and just makes you think.
Okay. Matt?
Yeah, like I said, the timing of when you block things, I think really sets us apart from most of the other 5 in a row games. There's also a rule that they've not mentioned, which is the instant knockout squares. So on the board, these 4 spaces here are instant knockout spaces. So if you make your 5 in a row through that, you don't score your points, you just immediately win that round.
Do you have to put your odd piece on that?
I don't think so. There's some rules about. I don't think you can put your odd piece on the knockout space. I can't remember the exact rules.
Yeah, there is a rule. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you can set it up so that you're making a 5 in a row and it goes through that that knockout space, you just win the whole game. So if you're behind, that's a bit of a catch-up mechanic. Oh no, I've lost a lot of points. If he scores any points this round, I'm basically going to lose. I will try to just win the round through the knockout, which adds another kind of option to it. So yeah, I think it's got a lot of depth, and with the other options of ways to play it that Steve mentioned, yeah, it's got a lot of replayability, a number of different modes. So I think it's a really good game for that kind of abstract.
Rating?
5-in-a-row game, yeah.
Good.
Is abstract. It's going to appeal to a very small subset of board gamers as such. If you like your abstract, this is fine, give it a go. I think there is an inherent advantage in any 5-in-a-row game to going first. You're going to get such a huge edge. But just that throwing off, I'm not sure how big the edge is with every fourth piece being different. I like it, but I think there are better abstract games out there. I'm going to give it 6 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah, I am not a big abstract fan generally, but I think this does it very well. It's certainly interesting. I mean, it's 5 in a row, so it's fairly simple, but the mixing the colours and the shapes suddenly elevates it. It becomes a lot more strategic, and you really do need to plan ahead. And particularly, the really nice twist is that fourth piece being different. You've got to think very carefully about what you're doing with it, and you can use it sort of tactically to your advantage as well if you plan far enough ahead. It's probably a little bit too much thinking for me. I can imagine people would get very good at this if they spent a long time playing. So I think I'd be on a 6.5, but I would consider it to be a well-designed game. I think it is good for what it is. So if you like this kind of game, I certainly recommend checking it out. All right, thanks for watching. That was XOBrainer.